What's up? Welcome to the Banter podcast. We are back here for week 13 in the middle of February. You know, we are chilling. Season 1 of the podcast is winding down. We're gearing up for season 2. So, you know, good vibes up in here. I'm Brennan Kirkpatrick. I'm going to be your host today, joined alongside the two wonderful analysts, Korey and Kyle. Pritchard, boys.
Apparently, we're pretty elated here to banter on some ball.
Yeah. Shooting some hoops, you know. Of course, there's a couple hoops questions today, mostly reflecting on the Super Bowl as it happened on Sunday. So okay, bring the balls out. Some props for Banter Ball today. You gotta love that. Yeah, but mostly reflecting on the Super Bowl, maybe looking ahead a little bit, and then we got the other sports as well. But are you guys ready?
Ready is a very subjective term.
That's very true. I was going to say, yeah.
I am available. is what I'm
available for the next 40 minutes.
Well, you guys know the drill. You guys know the drill. If you agree, a minute to talk it out. If you disagree, a minute 30, or you guys get a minute to talk it out.
We know the format, Brennan. I don't know if you do.
Seconds,
what is happening?
Discuss. I'm stumbling over my words right now, but it's all right. If you agree, a minute to talk it out. If you disagree, 35 seconds to explain your case. Then you get a minute 30 to debate, try and reach an agreement. You have this for 25 minutes. Try to reach 10 agreements. If you don't reach 10 agreements, speed round. If you don't get the 10 points with the speed round, punishment.
Hey, Brennan. How long's the speed round?
But anyways, what's up? Speed round today.
Thank you.
That's German right there. That's a German for you.
It's English and German. 2 minutes.
Anyways.
Bye.
Without further ado, let's get into the first question. And let's start with the NFL. And what was your biggest takeaway from the Super Bowl? 25 minutes starts now.
Give me a second here.
We're going Kyle. Korey typing away, and we got answers already. Kyle.
All right. So I said someone has to figure out Mahomes and the Chiefs in general. And I've said this about a month ago at this point during the AFC Championship, is that, golly, someone has to crack the code of Patrick Mahomes and, honestly, this is the Chiefs in general, because this was thought to be a down year for them, but they still end up winning the Super Bowl against a pretty good 49ers team. Yeah, they just resigned their defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, and I think a lot of people think that's the reason why they won. Their elite draft classes from 21 and 22 are still under contract, so
that is
no signs of slowing down.
Your time.
Okay, so that is probably going to be like more of a long-term legacy thing. It's probably going to be about Mahomes long-term. But for the next decade or so, when people bring up this game, they're going to be talking about that those new playoff overtime rules, which we saw for the first time, are better. I already see your face, Kyle. This is common knowledge. There is no reason why one team should not be able to get possession of the ball going in. That's something that every child knows. Like, if you're shooting for ball before a 1v1 game, if you make the first shot, you match it. If children figure it out, why is NFL only just now figuring it out?
All righty. So.
All right. Well, you guys, minute 30.
All right, we're not calling it that. But, Korey, I totally 100% agree with you. But the fact is, those rules technically weren't in place for this game. Like the rules, even before a few years ago, were if the team one kicks a field goal, you still get a chance. And that's exactly what happens.
I do understand that. But the fact that after this game, people were talking, they're like, oh, I didn't realize playoff overtime was different. They're like, oh, this is a new thing. It's not been communicated well. People are going to be learning more about playoff overtime rules in these next few years. Coaches are going to learn how to play in playoff overtime. I've already read a couple of articles about how coaches are changing their game plans. That's the impact of this game. That's my takeaway. I understand Mahomes is good, but we already knew he was good.
Sure. I understand that it's probably going to be in sort of a kind of a college mindset where whenever the overtime happens, you want the first team to have the ball. Like, you want the opposing team to have the ball first, so then you can maybe score and go for 2 and win. But I don't know. Like, the effects of that rule were not really in place.
Sure, they weren't on display, but people now know about that rule. People are now thinking about that rule, and they're already trying to analyze
for
that.
Like
that's
2
my
or
takeaway.
3 years at this point. All right.
Okay.
It's not even this year.
It was put in place last year. No, it was put in place after 2022. It was put in place for 2022, 2023. Yes.
Well, the 2021-2022 season. All right, but have you reached an agreement, Kyle? Are you agreeing?
I think for the short term it is. For the long term, I agree with your Mahomes takeaway. But I'm now going into next season more worried about Mahomes and the Chiefs than I was going into this Super Bowl.
I feel like until I see an actual game be affected by those new rules, I don't know if I can necessarily agree with you. Okay. Just personally.
All right, so you guys disagree on the first question. Anyways, let's move on here to the National Basketball Association. Some breaking news coming out earlier this week that the Warriors made a bid for LeBron James at the NBA trade deadline. What would a team like the Warriors have to give up if they wanted to acquire LeBron James, who is arguably 1A, 1B with Michael Jordan as the greatest NBA players?
I'm going to let Korey answer first.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So I kind of gave a philosophical answer, but that's fine.
Oh, come on. Okay, so I said 4 first-rounders and a young player. I know that seems low, especially considering that we're still kind of coming off that Rudy Gobert trade where they gave 4 first-rounders for Rudy Gobert. But you see a guy like Kevin Durant, I think they traded 5, maybe 6 first-rounders for him, maybe even 4 still. Like, LeBron James is getting older. The Lakers don't really have that much of a use for him right now. I think the Warriors could have put together the best possible package because they could have matched the salary with a guy like Draymond Green. Then they could have put in a really great young player and 4 picks that would have been good for the
your time.
All right. So I said, honestly, I think out of the entirety of NBA history, I think LeBron James is one of the only players that I can say with certainty is a priceless player. I don't think on anything, regardless of how the locker room works with him there, how the team itself works. Look, 2 decades later, he's still playing pretty decent basketball, especially when you take into account all the other players in history that have played like 2 decades. They ended up not ending up playing very well. He's still playing at a great level.
Okay.
I'll let Korey.
I don't know if you've watched basketball in the last 3 years because LeBron James, 1, is not a priceless player because he's playing really good basketball, and 2, he's not a priceless player, but he's not playing to the high level that you're acting like he is. And 2, he's not priceless because no player is priceless in the NBA anymore. They're so expendable now. Teams are absolutely trading people right away. The one player that I would compare LeBron to right now is like an end of his career, like Kobe Bryant, who had significantly lower stats than LeBron, sure, but Kobe Bryant was on the Lakers for his whole career. That's why they weren't going to trade him. LeBron James, he doesn't have that much of an attachment, not enough fan base for the city of LA right now. If LA sees a benefit, they could trade him, and I think that's a package for him.
So I definitely agree. If for a package like 4 first rounders and a star player, honestly, yeah. But I think I read that the Lakers were said, oh, you know what? If you want to explore this a little bit, please go ahead and do that. And he said no. So not even.
Yeah, he said no. That's not the same. Okay, you've made this easy for me because you started by saying that he's the only priceless player in the league. I think that there are people who are more valuable to LeBron James than LeBron James in the NBA right now. Do you agree with that?
Right now, like today.
Right now, who you would not trade?
Yes.
Okay.
And that is your time. Kyle, do you agree? All right. You guys agree
history,
there is point number.
Yeah, history is not what we're talking about. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, let's go back to football, and let's revisit a question that was asked earlier on the Banter podcast. After the Super Bowl,
you're just trying to get Kyle to be able to give his answer on this because Kyle wrote this question the first time.
I did.
Okay, and honestly, I could hear this.
All right, Kyle.
All right. So I said third, only behind Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. But honestly, the only way I'm giving him, the only reason I'm putting Peyton Manning above Mahomes right now is just because of longevity. The fact that he's played I think 18 years in the league. The amount of stuff that Mahomes has done in like 6 years of a starter is unheard of. And honestly, he's only comparable to Tom Brady. Reasonably. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, and he's won MVP in all those games. 2-time NFL MVP.
And that is your time.
Like,
can I reset the time? There we go.
I think he's easily top 5, and Corey's going to talk about that too.
Okay, so I have him 4, Corey, but locked top 5 100%. Because as I told Brennan, I don't see any argument for him being behind Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, those kind of guys. I don't see that. Unitas, I don't see it. I see arguments for Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Joe Montana. I've heard a couple times this week, I've heard Joe Montana being put as number 2, then Mahomes being put as 3. I would have Peyton Manning above Joe Montana, personally. But I do hear both of those arguments. And I don't know enough about the history of Joe Montana to really argue that. But I think I can probably settle on Mahomes being 3. But I would need to hear like why Joe Montana isn't being considered for you.
And to be completely fair, I think I had Montana at 4. I had it in my notes. And their careers already are pretty comparable right now. But I think when you take into consideration, yes, Mahomes had Travis Kelce, and he's had Tyreek Hill, and he's had all these very, very elite playmakers.
I'm not even thinking about that because
Joe Montana had the best receiver in NFL history.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. And the other thing that I was going to say is I'm not even really thinking about what Mahomes had right now because there's no way you watched that Super Bowl and didn't think that Patrick Mahomes was not the reason why they won that game. Like, he literally was the reason why they won that game. Like, I mean, he played great in the biggest moments there. He had like a 99 QB rating afterwards, even though he threw an interception. It was like a 99.3.
That was right in the second half, right? So
yeah, so
that interception.
I could totally take him being above Joe Montana, but I mean, I think he's debatable in that 3 and 4 region, but locked top 5.
20 seconds.
So I think we agree then.
We're good.
Yeah.
All right. You guys agree?
I think Mahomes and Montana are very close.
All time.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say Brennan, when I was talking to Brennan a couple weeks ago, he had Mahomes at 6, even if he won the Super Bowl. It's like,
which is crazy.
Yeah, he's just putting labels on it, not thinking about people.
I've changed. I'm probably with Corey now, top 4. But anyways, that's besides the point. Let's move into the NHL, and let's talk about Ryan Reeves saying he wants to make hockey more violent again. Do you guys agree with this statement?
Sadly, Kyle.
Right,
why'd you
guys agree?
Kyle put sadly no.
Look. Hear me out here. Give us 1 minute. Give us 1 minute here. Okay. As much as everyone loves a good old fight in the NHL, we got to take into consideration that this is really not that great for their brains at this point, or head trauma in general.
Yeah, I don't know why you're even saying sadly, because this is a no-brainer. They should not. You can maybe keep it where it's at. Why would you make it worse? Especially whenever you're trying to market the NHL as being more of like a family-friendly environment. There's a reason why all those high schoolers that we went to school with, all those high school hockey players, there's a reason they're all assholes, because their role models suck. Like what? Come on, guys. Like, why are you trying to increase violence?
Dang, bro.
I'm just saying. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
The culture itself is not that great. I do agree.
The culture is bad. And also, I'll say, there are arguments, you'd lose the argument, but you could argue that hockey is more dangerous than football. Hockey also has an 82-game season. There's a reason why they have triple the amount of injuries per season in the NHL than the NFL. And that's why would you want to make it more? Yeah. And also, St. Louis Blues, my team, decked the hell out of Ryan Reeves after he said that. The day after he said that, he deserved that. I don't know anything about Ryan Reeves, but why did he say that?
It's a whole,
All right, wow, some strong opinions over here. Anyways, let's move back to the NFL, and this isn't about the game, but let's just see where you guys rank this. You know, where do you rank the Usher halftime show among the halftime shows this century? From 2000 to 2000.
You better not cut me off when I'm talking here, because I got myself on monologue.
Surprise. All right, Kyle. Kyle's got this.
Corey,
paragraph.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So you guys disagree. All right, Kyle, I want to hear you first before Corey goes off.
I had very low aspirations going into this halftime show, because personally, I don't think Usher can be the number 1 guy in a Super Bowl halftime show. But honestly, I rewatched it a few times studying for this. I think he did all right. I think the song choices were all right. I thought the guest choices were all right. Only ones kind of recently that I would put above the one now, that just off the top of my head, are the one in LA a few years ago, The Weeknd, Timberlake, Bruno Mars, and Prince. Those are the ones that come to my head first.
Okay, all right. Okay, so first of all, Usher did a good job. I understand that. But there are a few different disciplines that you could say, like, that a halftime show was the greatest one since 2000 here. Usher doesn't rank in the top 3 of a single one of those disciplines. If you talk about in terms of just pure set list, you've got the Who show, you've got the Aerosmith NSYNC show, you've got, like, those are incredible. In terms of just pure impact, you've got that U2 show right after 9/11. That's a huge emotional impact there. Controversy, you've got that Janet Jackson show. Effort, glamour, you've got Prince, you've got Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar. In terms of names, there are ways you can measure this, and Usher isn't close.
I think you guys are agreeing that
it was a pleasant surprise. I thought it was because
that's not even what I'm saying. I'm not even saying it's mid. I'm saying that when you look up the competition against it, there's no reason why you would have it above. I actually liked the Usher halftime show because I liked the way he danced. I don't know why. I was like a little bit mesmerized by the way that he was dancing. It was very intriguing. His legs move in very interesting ways. I've never been so enthralled by a person walking before. But that being said, that does not compare to U2 singing MLK after 9/11. It just doesn't. So bottom half performance. Also, in my notes, I did have that Coldplay Bruno Mars Beyonce show that you mentioned, Kyle.
That was really good. That was really good.
That was a good one.
That was probably my favorite. That was a good one. So, are you guys agreeing?
On and half, but did well. Did well for Usher.
For you?
Also, Usher was in a half before, just not as the main guy. So,
all right. You guys agree on
three,
that? How many points is that now? Like
okay.
4? 4? It's 4. Yeah, it is 4. Anyways, let's go on to the MLB. MLB season starting up. Pitchers and catchers reported just the other day. Let's go with what team do you think will have the most surprising season in 2024?
Korey, answer first.
Why? No, you can't do that. You gotta answer. Oh, what is?
All right, Korey. Okay, all right, Kyle. Kyle, go ahead.
Let's go.
Look, as a Pirates fan, there's nothing to go but up from here. And honestly, they signed Aroldis Chapman, which was very surprising for $10.5 million for a single year. Which, hey, that probably means he's not on the team by the end of the year. You get O'Neal Cruz back from injury. You got Brian Reynolds on that big contract he signed. McCutcheon's a great locker room guy, not a great baseball player anymore, but that's fine. But with the expanded playoffs this year, they're only going to go up, I think, from last year.
Okay, I can agree that the Pirates are only going to go up, but they're not going to go up enough that I can consider them a surprise or the biggest surprise. What is going to be a surprise is that for me, I think the Tampa Bay Rays are going to fall off massively in their division because their division is very competitive now. And I think they're going to fall behind teams that they shouldn't be behind. I think that Toronto is going to stay above them, and I think that the Boston Red Sox might also jump ahead of them. I think Tampa is going to crumble under pressure a little bit here.
Okay.
All right, and that is your time, Korey. We say that every year. I
think that's the year, and I think that's also why it's a surprise because people are kind of dead set on the Rays now, thinking that they're a solid team.
So we kind of went on this question on different aspects. I said for who thinks it's going to be pretty good, and you said who thinks it's going to be bad.
Yes,
but let me entirely honest with you.
We need to measure this in terms of impact. It's more important if the Rays are bad than it is that the Pirates are kind of okay.
A, I agree with that, and B, if I would have framed that question the way you framed it, I probably would have said the Rays. So, yeah, because I think that division's.
All right, you guys are agreeing that the Rays are going to be the most surprising team?
I think they're not as
in
great.
A bad way.
Let's go Bucks though.
Kevin Cash just does whatever he wants. But anyways, let's move on. Let's go back to the NFL. I'm just kind of alternating here between questions. Let's go here. Let's go to, were there any players that you thought were snubbed?
There's
from the
one answer.
Hall of Fame
there's a right answer to this question.
There's a right answer.
There's a right answer.
Yeah, there's a correct answer.
It is.
Yeah, let's talk, Kyle.
Oh, you're not even gonna. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right, yep,
so let me just read off the stats here. He has 11,000 plus receiving yards, which is third by an NFL all time, third by a tight end all time. Nearly 1,000 receptions and is 7th all time in receiving touchdowns. How
of any player,
of any player in the NFL? How on earth did this man not make the Hall of Fame first ballot?
In case you didn't recognize it, this man is Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates was an absolute snub. There are other people who may be Hall of Famers. But, I mean, I don't have enough historical context to say that they are snubs. I've heard a couple of players being named. But Antonio Gates, 100%. Even in terms of story, why? Why was he not?
He went undrafted.
He went undrafted because he literally played college basketball. He
didn't play football. I was gonna say.
He didn't play football in college at all. And then he came in and was one of the greatest players ever, undisputably a Hall of Famer. I guess disputably first ballot, but undisputably Hall of Famer. You played basketball in college.
And
why are you not
your
first
time?
ballot?
Yeah, guy, if I'm retired, I can't.
Antonio Gates, man, he was snubbed. You got to put him in. That was a huge mistake. Anyways, let's go over to a sport we haven't done yet, and that is the NCAA women's basketball. That's right. We're talking about.
By the way, we are filming this Thursday. She may break the scoring record tonight.
Yes. So she should. She may break the scoring record tonight, and that's why I'm asking this right now. At the end of her career, where will she rank all time in the WNBA when it's all done for her? Because obviously she's number one in college, but let's see some predictions in the WNBA. All right.
I'm putting really high emphasis on it.
I honestly, my argument is a lot of that too. So I would say.
Okay. All right. We'll agree. Okay.
All right.
So Kyle said more than likely top 10 all time. I agree with the more than likely part. I said it's really, really hard to gauge, but I think she could be neck and neck with Diana Taurasi at the end of her WNBA career. First of all, Brennan, this is a weird question to ask because she hasn't even started her WNBA career. but I'm trying to gauge this.
I know she hasn't.
But I'm trying to gauge this based off of
that good.
In 2020, Sabrina Ionescu, people were saying that she might be the GOAT when she was coming into the league. In college, she was averaging 18 points per game. She was a great three-point shooter. Now she's averaging 18 points per game. She's a great three-point shooter. If Caitlin Clark can come into the WNBA now and transfer those skills over, even if she goes down by 10 points per game, if she goes down to like 21 points per game in her rookie season,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because she's currently leading the country in points and assists.
Yes.
So she's
she's also averaging like 7 rebounds per game.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing I want to throw in, Brennan, I understand that the person who currently has the most points in the NCAA all time, she is currently in the Kelsey Plum. She currently is in the WNBA. She's not on pace to be the greatest player of all time or anything like that, but I think it's a different animal from someone like Caitlin Clark than you have from Kelsey Plum, who is, by the way, doing really well, has 2 championships and an all-star MVP.
Alrighty.
All right. Okay, so we're in a weird time crunch here where if you guys agree, then you get another question. If you disagree, you don't. But anyways, let's go over back to the NFL and let's hear your way too early NFL.
I don't think we're going to agree on this question, Kyle.
Brennan's going to be looking at his chops. No.
Oh. Yes, all right. Kyle.
Okay.
Korey,
so
go ahead.
I defended the Eagles a few weeks ago before they got eliminated. I know, but I think Jalen Hurts could win the MVP because there's 2 angles I think you could go about this from. And one is I think you get like a young player, you get like an Anthony Richardson or a CJ Stroud, just steady progression. You give them MVP. Maybe this is Brock Purdy's year. Or you got a player that you just can't look away from. And Kyle's is that kind of guy. He talks about Josh Allen, but I think Jalen Hurts is a more likely guy. I think the Eagles are still going to be good, even with all those question marks and free agents.
All right, Kyle.
Okay, I really don't want to,
Defend my
but
boy
honestly, just Josh Allen is a guy that you just think of inevitably will win a MVP, regardless of how well he plays. It's kind of like an Aaron Rodgers off year, where like, oh yeah, he's probably was the best quarterback, and then in the MVP technically is like at this point is a quarterback award. He's a great dual threat guy this year. I think if you can shore up any sort of interception issues, I think he could be a front runner next year, definitely.
All right.
And I think the thing that is interesting about our picks is that Josh Allen ended his season the exact opposite way that Jalen Hurts ended his season. Josh Allen's team was doing well to end the season, whereas Jalen Hurts' team was doing really bad. So I understand the momentum of the Bills coming through and doing really well. I think that the Eagles are going to pick things up, and people are going to be like, dang it, the Eagles are still good. We were all saying that Jalen Hurts is a bad leader. We got to say Jalen Hurts.
I don't necessarily – I can see it in this timeline, but not as clearly as I can for Josh Allen, I feel like. Can you agree with that,
I think Josh Allen is the more stable pick, and I will agree with you on that. I think he's the more stable pick for you.
All right. And you guys agree on that. How many is that?
That's 8.
7, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Brennan, I'll give you this. You're a quick-ass moderator because whenever you analyze, because when you analyze, you go way over time, but whenever you moderate, you interrupt us. It's very interesting.
Hey, whatever works. Anyways, we got a little bit of a interesting speed round here today. So I have pulled up the 2023 NFL.
Oh, why?
And I'm going to be asking you what team picked what
is
players.
This first round?
I'm going to go in order.
Is this team? We're teamed, right?
It is first round. First round.
Kyle, take me to the promised land, baby. I don't know anything.
All right. I will give you
2 minutes.
I will give you the team, the pick number, and I'll throw in
the position.
The position. All right, I'll be nice.
Okay.
I will throw in the position. Okay. Are you guys
23? Oh Lord. Yeah,
ready?
Okay.
You get 2 minutes. 2 minutes. It's it's the most recent draft rookie class, 2023. All right. All right, here we go.
I need 2.
You need 2 of them. 2 of them. All right. 2 minutes starts now. Pick 26. The Dallas Cowboys drafted a defensive line.
Oh man, I'm thinking through this.
I think he went to Tulsa. That's the only one. Then I don't
skip.
Did not go to Tulsa.
Continue.
All right, you guys. We'll skip here. Anyways, let's go to the 7th overall pick, where the Las Vegas
that should be
Raiders
easier, Kyle. 7
linebacker.
Oh my God! I wish
7th overall pick.
I had to college, man. I don't know.
I don't know who got drafted in this draft class.
I don't know either. This is a bad draft class. Yes.
All right, you guys want to skip that? All right. Pick 13, the Green Bay Packers drafted a defensive lineman.
The Packers.
I can only think of Rashawn Gary, but like he's that's a few years ago.
Skip.
It's not Rashawn Gary.
Skip. Just give us something.
Brennan, you're making the speed round too hard.
Right.
Dude, hey, that should have been a bone. That should have been a bone.
All right, here we go. Pick number 29. The new.
Why are you playing all these defense players? Give me a wide receiver. Give me someone I had on my fantasy team. What is this?
I can't even begin to tell you. Yes. Skip.
Give us a receiver, a running back, or any offensive player.
Give us something, man.
Well, all right, fine. Here we go. I'll give you an easy one. Let's go the Los Angeles Chargers, pick 21. They picked
There we go.
Yes. There you go.
All right. One more.
Anyways, let's go to the pick 16. The Washington Commanders drafted a corner. And I'll be nice.
No, I know it. I know it. It's Emmanuel.
The college was Mississippi State.
Yes.
That is correct.
Did we do that in time?
Oh.
Yeah, 6 seconds left.
Kyle.
I want to know. Hang on a second. I want to know the guys I missed.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just go through them. So I said pick 7. The Raiders. They drafted Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech.
He's a different. Did you? I feel like
I didn't say he was a linebacker. He is. He's an outside linebacker.
It's like a defensive end. Who cares?
I have it pulled up right here. It's fine. So what does draft stock say? Anyways, pick 13, the Green Bay Packers. They took defensive lineman Lucas Van Ness out of Iowa. I thought you guys were going to get that one for sure, or at least you, Kyle. You got Emmanuel Forbes, Quentin Johnson, my bad. The Dallas Cowboys, they took Mozzie Smith out of Michigan.
I knew the last name was Smith. I was like, Tyron Smith.
And then pick 29, the New Orleans Saints drafted defensive tackle Brian Brees.
I remember his name on draft night, but I could not have told you where he went.
Yeah. Well, that is your speed round. You guys 6 seconds away from a punishment, but you guys avoided that successfully. Kyle with a hard carry there. Knowing that's 2023 draft class.
So you really helped me.
But anyways, that's going to be it for this episode of Banter Ball. Only, I think, what do we have, like 2 more? Yeah, 2 more episodes of the season. It's coming down to the wire. We're going to have some great questions. These 2 are going to get to mod one more time before it's all said and done. So that'll be exciting stuff going on. Anyways, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, anywhere you listen to your podcasts, any other social media like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Go follow us everywhere. Anyways, we want to thank you for the support that we've been getting, and we will see you same time, same place.
Bye-bye.
Next week.